bouncing, flossing, riding, gliding, yelling out ruthless, dropping my siding, lift it back up with the hydraulics. Call it 2 for 1, it's the 2 alcoholics. What do you know? Hardcore went radio. Yeah, I'm Mexican, you still can't play me though. AOT and slow paint, straight G and Eazy-E and 92.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your player partner, Cardo Mac. We're here at the world famous Apricot Tree Restaurant. Here with legendary rapper, icon, ALT the Saint. What's up?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for taking the time for meeting me today. I got a couple questions here to ask you. First of all, for the youngsters that don't know, how'd you get the name ALT and how'd you get the Saint afterwards?
Well, the name came up, it's just my initials, and then it started standing for Another Latin Time Bomb. I was at a show, and a kid backstage said, "Hey, what does AOT stand for? Another Latin Time Bomb?" And I just said, "Yeah." So we ended up calling the album that. And the Saint came later when we made the G-Fellas up, and the album was supposed to be like, you know, the G-Fellas, like the good fellas, so we all wanted to have names from gangster movies, so Nino B, and then Slow Pain kept Slow Pain, and I was my favorite movie was Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, Jimmy the Saint, so I took the name ALT the Saint. Yeah.
Cool. How'd you get started in the game, and what were your influences?
Funny, I started rapping when I was like in 8th grade, and then that's about 1983, 84. And how I got in the game was, you know, I did a lot of battling around San Gabriel Valley, and there was a DJ who was like the best in the world, Tony G. And he started making records with Booyah Tribe, and he did an artist called Mellow Man Ace. And so I used to follow him around and see him DJ, and I'd watch Kid Frost battle Ice-T at the backyard parties in the World on Wheels. And anyway, I got in touch with Tony G because he lived in the same city as me, and he was DJing for Young MC at the time, but he was off on tour, and I kept bringing a demo tape to his record shop right up the street from my house. Well, finally, he came off tour and he heard my demo tape, and he told the guy Juan that was running the record shop for him, "Tell that guy to come in tomorrow." So I came in, and he said, yeah, he was feeling it, and he said, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "I want to make a record." That's all I wanted to do. That was my goal. Just make a record. I didn't give a shit what. If all I did was make one record, even if it was a hit or anything, just to see my name on a record, that's what I wanted. So he said, "Come on down," and I did. We worked in the studio. He sent me home that night because I was reading my lyrics. He said, "Come back when you have it memorized." I came back. We made a couple demo tapes, and like 3 weeks later, he said, "I have an artist. Would you be interested in ghostwriting?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay, his name is Kid Frost." And I was like, "Well, I know Kid Frost. I followed his whole career because, you know, he had 2 records back in the day on Electrobeat. Rough Cut, yeah. So I was like, hell yeah, you know, I looked up to Kid Frost, so I thought he was, you know, I always thought he was better than Ice-T, and so anyhow, I started working on the Hispanic Causing Panic record, and I remember when that album came out, I saw my name on the credits, and that was my first credit on a record that I had ever done. And then from there, we made the Latin Alliance record, and I actually came out on a record, and that was my first record. Yeah.
So Latin Alliance was you, Frost, and Mellow Man Ace?
And there was several other rappers. God, who were all the rappers? Mark Ski, he was a Puerto Rican rapper. Then there was, God, I forget everybody's name. Zulu Gremlin was another Mexican rapper on there. There were several other rappers that were part of the album.
Tell us about your discography, whether solo albums or group albums that you've done.
I've done, let's see, I started off with, well, I've written for almost every, or maybe every Kid Frost record that's out. I had, I came out on East West Atlantic with my solo album, the Another Latin Time Bomb. Then I left that label, and Tony G and myself, along with Unknown DJ Dre, we did the Stone Cold World record, and that was another solo album. And then I had the Latin Alliance album, which was a group album. 2 G-Fellas records, which were group albums. And then I came out most recently with the Resurrection, a solo album. And then I've been like the Gambinos records. There was like 3 of those Gambinos records, which were really a compilation, kind of like the first NWA record. It was mostly all the same people on the compilation, but it was still a compilation. And then I've done, features on, everybody's record you could think of in Chicano rap,
Music videos. Tell us about the music videos that you've done. Which one was your favorite, or crazy stuff that happened, like while you guys were recording?
Well, probably my favorite one is probably Tequila, because we rented out the whole Papas and Beers in Rosarito. Yeah, we rented out the motel across the street. We rented the whole thing out, and the whole Papas and Beers, and it was just our people there. And I mean, we let some people in that if they signed waivers, but we filmed the whole day at Papas and Beer. It was a pretty tight video, and that was probably my best video that I had fun doing. But the most proud is probably my most recent one. If you look up, just YouTube, The Attic by ALT the Saint. I'm pretty proud of that one because we did that one on a 0 budget. My son shot it with his camera I bought him for Christmas, and he's in music, and he's in the film school and audio school, LA Film School, and he shot the video and had it up on YouTube. What you see within like 4 or 5 hours from us coming up with the concept. So I'm pretty proud of that video because if you watch it, it's a great video. I mean, it cost us 0. So yeah.
Yes, another thing I was going to ask you about your son. He's rapping now too. What name does he go by, and what else is he up to?
He had several things under Halo and Minute, and Minute spelled M-I-N-I-T, which is my nephew. But then they kind of split up, and my nephew's doing his own thing. You can look up his music. And then my son does things under Andrew, Midnight Music. So Andrew with a U, A-N-D-R-U. But he's laid back in the cut right now. He's still finishing school. He's going to graduate this month. So be watching for his stuff really soon. But he still puts things out here and there, keep his name out there.
So he's working with other artists and got things going on?
Yeah, he produces also, and he's he just did like 3 or 4 cuts with Also Vicious, and he goes and runs sessions for these guys, and engineer sessions. That's what he's going to do, sound engineering and producing, so as well as an artist, but he wants to have that to fall back on. So.
Sounds good. What about tours? Tell us where your music has taken you around the world, or any crazy experiences with that, or if you had any, just what went down there.
Yeah. Oh, I've been, you name it. I've been to several countries in Europe. I've been to Japan a couple times, South America, Chile, Santiago, Chile, in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Been to Canada, Mexico. I think probably the coolest experience I had was Kid Frost, me, DJ Ralph M, LA, KDAY Mixmaster. We were on tour in Europe, and we did Austria, and we were the first rap group to ever do Austria. This is back in about 1991, and we were the first rap group to ever tour in Austria and do a show, and we opened up for Large Professor. And they actually, after Large Professor got off stage, they actually asked for an encore for us. We were the opening act. They didn't want Large Professor back. They were yelling, Kid Frost, Kid Frost. And we had no more material, so DJ Ralph M came out with a couple instrumentals, and me and Kid Frost freestyled for 45 minutes just to please the crowd. Yeah.
Tell us about Eazy-E and what influences he had on you and his vision for Chicano rap.
Well, Eazy through the business ended up being a really close friend of mine. It's real unfortunate what happened, but I truly believe that if he stayed alive, Chicano rap would be huge and would be a major player in music nowadays. He had Kid Frost signed, and he was working on the G-Fellas record when he passed away, and we were looking for other artists already. So, and he would have definitely put his name on it to make it legit, and he definitely had the money to back it up. So Yeah, I think he had a big vision, just like he did with Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know, that whole style. I didn't even like it. I even told him, man, what are you doing? Those guys are garbage. But I heard the demos, you know, and then what came out later, I was like, wow, you really had something in mind, because I didn't hear this when I heard the demo. Yeah.
So he had a special gift recognizing talent. Yeah. Also, Jerry Heller, do you still keep in touch with him?
I do. He still manages my publishing for me. He doesn't manage my career, which is really, you know, semi-retired now. But you know, I still do things here and there and put out an album now and then. But he still, yeah, I keep in touch with him more on a friendly level.
That's cool. That's good to hear. What about Bill Walker and Thump Records? What stuff have you put out with him?
Yeah, I put out throughout the years. I threw him lots of bones. You know, gave him a record here and a record there for a few bucks. So he has quite a few songs of mine. He could thank me later.
What about the G-Fellas album? And I've heard you talking to Nino Brown about a G-Fellas reunion. What's up with that? Who are we waiting on?
I think we're waiting on Slow Pain. But then again, I was in the studio the other night, and I worked on the first song, and Nino Brown was supposed to put his verse on it, and he never did either. So I guess I'm waiting on those two guys. But I keep hearing them talk about it, so we'll see what happens.
So Slow Pain, Nino Brown, what's up? Let's get back into it. Look who's ready. What was that thing that Eazy-E used to say about not getting money, or you guys ain't?
He said, y'all don't want to make no money. What up, Slow? What up, Nino B? Y'all don't want to make no money, do ya?
Yeah. And also the G-Fellas album, how come you weren't on the second cover from the G-Fellas album?
Well, you know, I'm on most of the songs, but that was a contractual differences that we had, and I didn't really want to sign the contract that those guys agreed upon, so I stayed out of that side of it. But I did allow the music. The music was too good to hold back, so I did allow my music to get put out.
A lot of people say that the G-Fellas album was ahead of its time. What do you think about that?
It was definitely ahead of its time, so I think that album would be relevant today. So I think if Slow Pain and Nino Brown and I was to get our heads together, we could really put something out classic.
Yeah, definitely classic. To this day, I still play it. Still bangs just like the first time I heard it. Timeless. That's what I'd call it. Chicano rap from when you started. What do you think about the game back then when you started, and what's going on nowadays?
Well, when we first started, you know, we didn't really try to start a genre like we did, but we did. But we didn't really call it Chicano rap. We just were, you know, Chicanos rapping. But anyway, it did get that label, and I was, you know, some people feel different about it than I do. Like Tony G and them, they hate the whole genre. But personally, I was pretty proud of the fact that we were the first to do it, and then, you know, used to be able to walk into Warehouse Records or whatever and see Chicano rap section, you know. And for a minute there, it was really super strong. But now it seems to fizzled out, you know. The whole gangster rap thing is pretty much, you know, a dying breed. There are a few out there, but so now I think it plateaued, and it's at where it's going to be now. So there's just a few doing it. So, but the ones that are doing it, keep doing it, because I mean, you still got to keep that music alive, you know.
Yeah, that's good. Which artists are the ones that you feel they got good talent that you give props to, and you like to see them coming up even more?
Nowadays, definitely Also Vicious, Seven, and everything out of our camp. You know, obviously I support Chino Grande. I like a lot too. Dinero, I like Dinero a lot too.
Your last album was put out through Hellified, right? Tell us what you got going on with them. Is there another album coming out with them?
Yeah, you know, I actually did an album with Also, because we're going to do it like a G-Fellas 2012 with just me and him, and because the other guys weren't available. But then when I found out that they were interested in maybe doing a reunion, I put that on hold, because that would, you know, I don't want to kill any chances of us doing another G-Fellas record. But some of those songs will definitely get released on other albums and so forth. And I might thinking about starting another ALT album soon. But I definitely got enough material to put out an EP. So I might put out a greatest hits or something with like maybe 3 or 4 new songs. I might do that just for digital. I might do that in the next few months.
Since you've been in the game since the beginning, have you ever thought about making your own record label?
Not anymore. Maybe back in the past, but not anymore. But we have Hellified, which we're all tightly involved with. So, but not my own. Yeah, it's too much work.
Yeah. All right, let's get to tattoos, because here at Chicano Style TV, we interview Chicano rappers, pinup models, and tattoo artists. We like Chicano art. ALT's got, he's tatted down. Check it out. Tell us a little bit about your tattoos. Who's your artist? About your first tattoo you got?
Yeah, my first tattoo I got, man, just on the street on DeGarmo back in Monte, back in the days. I couldn't tell you who did it, but my first tattoos I started getting was from Joker from Northside Pomona. He did a lot of Kid Frost tattoos. That's how I met him, and he used to hook me up. He's in a couple of my videos, a couple of Frost videos. But recently now I go to Nene, Yo Nene, big shout outs. He did this piece right here. He did my microphone and my ALT right here, the headphones. Did all these right here. So yeah, he gets down. But he world famous. He everywhere. What up, Nene?
A couple more questions real quick. Your first car that you ever had, and what do you drive now?
Right now I got a 2012 Malibu, and a little Lexus 300 at home too, and a work van. But back in the days, I had a couple cars. I had a little mini monster truck with 35-inch tires all lifted up. Then I had a IROC that had all candy paint and hooked up. And I had a Cadillac, a Coupe de Ville. That's why I made the song. Yeah, and I had the 100-spoke McLeans that they custom made for me and Frost for doing the East Side Rendezvous song. Yeah, so what else did I have? Oh, I had a Porsche 944 twin turbo. That was a badass little car right there. Yeah, that was a badass car. So I mean, I've had a few. Yeah.
That's cool. What about if people want to get a hold of you? How do they get a hold of you? Is it simple and shouts out? Any shouts out you got to people?
Yeah, shouts out to all the Hellified Camp, to Hennessy Lounge, my boy Kiki, Tony G, Julio G, Ralph M, all the LA KDAY mix masters, Hellified Records, 7, Leño, Redwood, Grouch, Also Vicious, all them cats, and everybody's still doing Chicano rap, man. Stay at it, man. We gotta make that money. Keep it alive.
That's right. You heard it from the legend, ALT the Saint. And that's it. We're out. I know you're a busy guy. Got things to do. Got to get that money. So we're out of here. Cardo Mac representing Chicano Style TV. Peace.
I slide through with the joint in my mouth. Give me a pen and a pad. I hit the mic and I'm out. And I know a few players from the LB. They be for real. Now that's what they tell me. And have you heard of a murderer? Dub, he be serving a fool like Scarface and then spray swerving in a 63 rag, a 44 mag on his side. He's gliding, east siding. It's me, ALT. I'm too clever and it's hell on earth. When these fools get together from the LBC, the SGV, it's that Mexican food. You better recognize me.
If we blazing up a sack and we getting high,